What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor X with Professor X Perspective. Channel where we talk about different topics. Today, it'll be relationships. Give my perspective on it, and then we could talk about it in the comments. Since we all, in one way or another, a lot of us share the same situations. Don't be fooled by the nice guy. Professor X, what are you talking about? That's why we clicked on it. We saw the title. What are you talking about? I got an email from someone, not gonna mention their name, but I got an email from a young lady, 41 years old, that was telling me about her experience that she's currently going through right now in her relationship. She's dating a man that has been divorced for 5 years, and she feels like that they have a above the surface level relationship, particularly in the area of communication. He listens to her, he gives her advice, he considers her. The way he speaks to her is in a good, kind way, not abusive or anything like that. Communication is A+ from what she was explaining in the email. And she was wanting to know, should she continue the relationship because of a couple of struggles that they have. So although the communication is A+, the same man also has children from the previous marriage that are well up in age, 18, 19, 20, so on and so forth. So pretty much grown kids. They primarily live with the ex-wife, but of course they come over as well. And she notices that they have no ambition or foresight for their future, and that the father of the children, the guy that she's dating, continues to do things for them, driving them around, cooking for them, things of that nature, even at the age that they are at. And when she asks her boyfriend, the father, about why, have you talked to your kids about their future, about work, about career, what they want to do, are they going to go to college? He pretty much tells her, let me and the mother of the children figure that out. We'll work that out. And the mother of the children is not doing all that well herself in her financial situation. And the lady that wrote this email, I could tell, is very accomplished, been in the education field for a while, has no children of her own, but obviously in the education field, you oversee and deal with kids every day. So even though you may not have children, you still are very acquainted with their behavior and whatnot, and understand what they need to assist them in life. And the man that she's dating also, his financial situation is decent, but it's not all that great. He desires to have some of the finer things of life, luxuries of life, but not enough to actually do anything about it. To start a business, go back to school, try to make more money. There's no ambition to do that. However, she has and does those things. So she has, the nice car and different luxuries that come with having an elevated finance. So that's the long and short of the email. She was wondering, should she stay with this man or should she get out of it and pursue somebody else if the opportunity would come? And so I want to say, with the title, she actually, when we talked about on the email if I would make a video of this, and so she actually suggested the title, "Don't Be Fooled by the Nice Guy." So thank you. You know who you are. Let me say that a lot of times what we do as humans, and I'm going to answer the question this way. A lot of the times what we do as humans, well, let me go back real quick. She also spoke how of coming up, communication was a big deal for her. Even church people, different things, a lot of people just, she lacked a lot of that. So obviously this was going to be something that was big to her. Let me add that because that's important. A lot of times when we get into relationships with people, we can pick out of them one of the highlights that we really need, and that part of them will allow them and cause them to be more attractive to us if we just took that single part. For example, me personally, I don't cook all that well. I know it's weird. Like I can cook enough to survive. I'm a man. I can survive. Right? I've been divorced over 7 years. I can survive. But I don't like to eat my own cooking. I'm just weird like that. Like some people don't like to hear their own voice. You know how that goes. Some people don't like to see themselves on video. Like that stuff don't bother me. What I don't like is to eat my own cooking. So if a woman knew how to cook very well, I could possibly lean towards being into her for the highlight of what she's able to do, cooking. And if I'm not careful, I may not recognize, or I would ignore red flags such as what's big to men, disrespect. Maybe the way she talks. Maybe the way she carries herself in public. I could be blinded to those things, willingly blinded to those things, because of the one great area that she does well that allows us to have a good connection. So she may be able to cook well. I may be able, let's say if I was a mechanic, I work on cars well. She may have an older type car. I keep her car taken care of. It's always running well. If it breaks down, I can show up, Mr. Almighty, take care of it. 15, 20 minutes later, you're back on the road. She cooks well, hot meal in my belly, and we rock. There's a connection. We're both giving each other something. And again, in that type of situation, it's not that we're necessarily compatible. It's just we're pulling from a need that we have that has been developed in us for a long time. She needs her car because she has an older car. She would need it running so she can go and do what she has to do in life. I would like a hot meal so that because I don't like to cook. I don't want to, just eat my food or eating cereal all the time, eating out all the time or whatever. So it's gonna balance each other out. But if we're ignoring the full capacity, when you're talking about moving from that kind of life is cool if you're just dealing with one another for a season of time. But when you're talking about transitioning from that type of relationship into quote unquote holy matrimony, where you're going to be dealing with each other every day, her life becomes my life, or in this situation, to one of my subscribers who sent the email, in her situation, if she was to marry this man, all of his life is now a part of her life. So we can see already that in his own life, he lacks ambition. We can see from the email that she has ambition. She has put herself in a financial position to be able to obtain the things and do the things in life that she wants to do. But we can see from his way of living, he has not put himself necessarily in a place to do that. And he's the man too. So let's not leave that out. That if they were to walk down the aisle in matrimony, he now becomes the leader of that home. He now takes the front seat. He is now leading the orchestra. He is now the headship. He is now responsible. His vision, his ideas, his action, his ability to make things happen, his ability to take care of the family, her, his kids, whatever needs to be done, any kids they may have in the future, he has to now become responsible for all of that. So if she see right now that he is not willing, able, or capable of having the ambition to even give that knowledge and information to his children about their success, and they're in their 20s or right or knocking on the door of 20, and even in his own life, he's not willing to put himself into a situation where he can better himself. I'm not necessarily saying that there's anything wrong with that as far as him personally, because we don't know how he was raised. We don't know what he saw with his mom and dad. We don't know what his vision of being a husband and a father and a man looks like. We're only going by this lady's story as she's telling it as it relates to herself. So I'm not going to say that he's not the man he's supposed to be. I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say is that if you are a woman and you have high ambition, do not get involved in marriage with a man with less ambition than you, because the only thing you're going to be able to do in due time is frustrate this man, because you're going to keep trying to push him and motivate him, even if you're saying it in a nice way. Well, sweetie, have you ever thought about going back to school? Well, sweetie, have you ever thought of starting your own business? Well, sweetie, have you talked to your children, Billie Jean? Have you talked to Billie Jean this week and see what they want to do? And over time, he may not come out and say this, so I'm going to say it for you and any other woman that's in this situation. Over time, out of his spirit, whether he said it or not, this is what he going to want to say. Well, just shut your mouth. I got this. He may not have nothing. He just don't want to hear your mouth no more. He may not ever get a plan. He just don't want to hear your mouth no more. And you're going to pick up on the fact this dude is not honoring or paying attention to what I got to say. And frustration is going to kick in you as a woman as to why I would settle down in this short life that I have with a man with less ambition than me. Remember, you can't change nobody. And the older we are, the less we're going to change for the most part. We can do slight changes, but most people, the older we get, the more settled in our ways that we become. And if he is not everything that you're looking for in the way that he is right now, and from the email, I can tell he is not. You've done too much in life. You, my friend, have done too much in life. You're well educated. You're well versed. You got your stuff together. He's a great communicator and a great friend. And that's probably where it needs to stay. And he may not even understand it if you try to break it off, because y'all are so imbalanced in terms. Remember, if you go back and see some of the other videos, our ships must sail in the same direction. Y'all ain't gonna be there. And if you're gonna get married, 2025 and beyond, if you're gonna get married, if you're gonna say unconditionally, I give myself to this man, he better be everything up front that you want him to be. If he's already lacking in an area that most men who would want to be a husband would get together, if he's already lacking, well, most men already know I got to prepare my children for the future and give them the best foot forward. If he's already lacking, if he's still doing stuff for grown kids, you're not going to be happy. So, you want my opinion? Remain friends with this man. Remain boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't even know do we use that term now once we hit 40? I'm using 90s language from when I was in middle school. Is it still boyfriend? What's the new, what is it now? Situationship? What is it? Remain whatever you want to remain as long as you want to remain it. But if your question is, should I marry this man? Y'all know where Satan lives? Okay, take Satan's home and add no. Wherever y'all think Satan lives, take that address and put N-O after it. Absolutely not. But y'all get in the comments. Let's talk about it. Be blessed.